Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Well, welcome to the show. I am a #1 international bestselling author, life and business transformational success coach, illuminating and empowering others to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and forge a strong foundation to soar to success. For more information, please visit us at ldcstrategies.com or LorianneCasdia.com. Today on the show, we have one of the Women Who Dreams author, one of my sister authors, Tracey Watts Cirino. And Tracey is a 4-time #1 international bestselling author. She's a speaker, a podcast host, Beyond Common Business Secrets, and as a thought leader and award-winning entrepreneur, Tracey helps business owners elevate their success with innovative strategies and tangible insights. With her no-nonsense approach, she offers lessons that are practical yet powerful to help you achieve your business goals. She believes that by going beyond what is common in your life and business, you can reach the creative heights necessary for exponential growth and success in any venture. Please help me invite and welcome Tracey to the show. Tracey, thank you for being here.
Lori, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you all.
I'm so glad that you're here, and like myself, we're both business success coaches, and we're both authors for Women Who Dream. So that was a dream, wasn't it, doing that project together?
It was amazing. And you and I aligned from the very beginning, and you were so helpful through the whole process. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm right back at you. It was just it was one of those connections that it was immediate. So I totally understand. And your chapter is You Are Worthy. And I love that. So talk to our listeners about You Are Worthy and how you came about writing that chapter. What led you down the road to that chapter?
That's so interesting because I had set out to write something totally different. And then one day I switched it all. And it just was like crystal clear that the way that I could help people most was sharing that this is all learned behavior. Like, I come from a long line of complainers, people that were not looking for the rainbow, and they're amazing. They're not bad people. They just didn't have the skill set to have that success mindset.
Sure.
So I always say, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's an uphill battle to overcome lots of feelings of unworthiness and not being enough. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. That is how the whole chapter came to be. And one of my very first mentors that I met at a super young age, that had a really strong impact on how I guess, like, would seek out coaches and mentors. It really changed the trajectory of my life. The story ends up being a lot about his influence, and just a beautiful way to honor him.
Yeah. No, I get that. Having coaches and mentors and people who you look up to is real important in your life because they're the ones who help guide us to become who we are, if we so choose. And that's the really exciting thing about having a coach. And everybody who listens to me every week understands and knows that, I'll say this prolifically, that having a coach in your life allows you to have a safe place to talk about anything, to get guidance that is to your best interest. So, and coaches don't tell you what to do. They just give you options and let you see what's right in front of you. Don't you think?
I do. I look at it, like, my philosophy on this is they help provide that hope and possibility, that inspirational piece for you becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like you create space for it.
Yeah.
I know from my personal experience, I didn't have the right people around me to inspire that from inside. I had to go seek it out. So I will never go without a coach for some area in my life. Like being a success coach, it's like I always have to be bettering my best too, so I can continue to serve my clients at the highest level possible.
Well, yes. And I always say it doesn't matter which coach you go with. Just make sure your coach is coachable and has a coach. I know, there are some people I've recently met who consider themselves coaches, and I'm sure they are to a certain level. My only concern is, one, they're not coachable, and two, they don't have a coach. And what I mean by coachable is they are open to seeing the same industry through somebody else's eyes. So it's really, I learned so much from other people in our industry. I'm sure you do too, Tracey, that I learn, even if it's the same concept, it's a different direction or delivery. And I go, wow, that expands the vision that I have, my application that I have on the same exact principle. Because at the end of the day, success principles are success principles, right? But it's in the delivery and how they help you along and nurture the growth process. And if they can see the brilliance, like I'm sure you see when you're looking at your clients and you're talking to potential clients, you can see their brilliance, where sometimes we can't see it within ourselves because we're just too close to it, right?
Right. Like I can see all this beautiful stuff for others, but we have to learn to get out of our own way.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like those powerful transformational coaching things that we do for our clients. You always have to be seeking that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And I love being coached by other success coaches and having conversations. That's where that true idea of a mastermind, right? Like everybody gets better together by being open to allowing more growth.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I actually just came from last month from a facilitation where there was a gathering of, I want to say, almost 40 coaches. And oh my gosh, the learning between each other and the collaboration between each other and the tackling of challenges. It was so exciting because you come out bigger and better. You just become a better form of yourself, and the more tools you have in your tool belt, the better. So, I've been trained from everyone from Tony Robbins to Jack Canfield to Mary Morrissey to Joe Vitale, to Joe Dispenza and Bob Proctor. The list goes on. And the reason why is so the more tools I have in my toolbox, the better I can serve my clients. Just like you said, we're always learning and learning from one another to help the people we're supposed to serve. Even if we wanted to, we couldn't serve everybody who wanted a coach, right? There's so many people here. So we're supposed to serve the people we're supposed to serve and, have that positive impact on their life and help them achieve what dreams they have. Not dreams I have. I achieve that with my coaches. What dreams my clients have. And it varies, right? So one of the things that one of my dear mentors said to me, and I love this, is, Lorianne, don't watch the Discovery Channel, be the Discovery Channel. So go out there and do it. And I think that was like among one of the most prolific things that I was told, among many, many things as I learned. And I love that to be the Discovery Channel. Go out and discover, go try, work with a couple of different coaches, work with a couple of different people and see when you're feeling better about yourself and you're achieving things that you want to achieve, you'll find the right fit. There's always a good lid for any pot when it comes to this industry as well. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're currently most passionate about, because I know we're always ebbing and flowing.
Oh, isn't that so funny, right? Like we're always doing something fun. So what I am currently working on is basically, how this is one of those things you may know, you may not know, but how there is less than 2% of female business owners and entrepreneurs,
of course,
that ever hit the 2 million, break into the $1 million revenue mark?
Yes, of course.
So I have a mission of helping 10 million female business owners and entrepreneurs bust through that in a way that we still get to have a good quality of life. We get to have our whole self be fulfilled and have a profitable business. So that is what I'm most passionate about. That has been the thing that has popped up, I think, more than anything. Speaking about the worthy piece, so many female business owners and entrepreneurs don't feel worthy of charging enough to hit the $1 million mark. And I want to change that for women forever.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I work with both men and women, and I find that my male clients are unapologetic about what they do. Totally unapologetic. Yeah. And we are always diminishing and minimizing what we do. And it's partly how we are raised. And that is, not a shot at society or industry or anything like that. It's just how we're raised. It's like, don't have an ego. You need to be modest. All the things that they tell all little girls, right? And I'm sure you've heard the same things. And those are things I'm like, I don't want you to be modest. I want you to say exactly how you feel you are. I want you to see who you really are, because when we can identify our superpowers, we can then go out to the world to serve our purpose. And that's what we're here to do. Learn and serve. Those are the two things we're here to do. Learn and serve. And so if we're diminishing ourselves and minimizing what we do, how is anybody going to want to work with us, right?
Absolutely. And by aligning yourself with what you need to learn and what your why is and your purpose, you're able to get into the mindset that attracts it to you.
Yeah.
Instead of falling under, where you're just kind of on this hamster wheel. Like, that is the stuckness that we need to rid for female business owners and entrepreneurs, because we don't want a world where everybody is feeling depleted and taken advantage of, right? Because then we become victims.
Yeah.
When we can flip the switch and get in real alignment of what our gifts are, what we're here to do with our purpose, you can charge what you need to build this extraordinary life that you absolutely deserve. And that's what we call going beyond common.
Yeah.
You don't have to settle for what's common.
Absolutely.
That's an old story. How to go beyond is to take a step back. You don't have to work harder. You just have to be really crystal clear, put the recipe in the right order.
Yes, and being able to have that vision, being able to see what it is that you really want. And you know what? Here's the thing, and we've talked about this on the show before, is you don't know what you want until you know what you don't want. And it sounds like an interesting thought, but really give it some thought. You don't know what you want until you really understand what you don't want, because that'll make you clearer and clearer and clearer on what you do want and the direction you're supposed to be going in. And another struggle that we have as women is being present. I know when I was a young entrepreneur, I would feel guilty when I was home, when I wasn't working on my business. And when I was working in my business, I was feeling guilty that I wasn't home. So it was almost like I was never present anywhere. And I stopped that one day and was like, no, wherever I am, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be complete there. And then when I go back home or I go to work, I'll be completely present there. And do you find a lot of the people you coach have that struggle as well? Because I find that a lot in the women I coach.
You know what's interesting? I find that in both men and women that I coach, and it's so funny. Inside my first book, Beyond Common, the 12 Essentials for Success in Life in the Workplace, the very first chapter is about being present, because that was the biggest thing of being a highly achieving type of female before having kids is very different than when you have them, and then you have this split where you're not feeling like you're successful either place until you decide to get clear on what is most important to you and figure out, like you're saying, to be present. And a lot of people need practical tools and resources for how to do that.
Sure.
And for me, I was an easily distracted child and then young adult. So I learned from people that had this quality as a master. So that is why I write about that. I teach about being present so much, because that is the foundational game changer to every success principle.
Agreed. What's one word that describes you best?
That's funny, because when I ask people, they say believer. But that's kind of always been. But recently I've been called the clarity ninja a lot. So I kind of go through both. like whatever wild dream you have for your life and business, I can figure out a way to help you monetize it.
Sure.
That's my believer. But then there's like this area of clarity that I sometimes see connection that other people miss.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I both have that superpower. It's like, I can see 10 steps down from where you are right now. Based on what you're going to do. And it's like, are you sure you want to go that way? Because I really see you thinking about doing this. What do you think about doing this? Or have you thought about doing X, Y, and Z? And they're like, what? And it's really a wonderful gift that we have, is that gift of clarity or gift of believer, or being able to have that insight when we look at somebody and see their superpowers. No matter who it is, we can see the potential that someone has. So it's a really cool gift, right?
It is. Once I've learned to harness it, it used to get me in trouble, right?
Oh, you and me both. It's all about harnessing the energy and
Right.
and providing that when you're asked, because I used to provide it when somebody didn't ask. And if it's not wanted, it's not helpful. And I get in trouble.
Yes, right.
And I would see things and go, would you consider going in a different direction? And they're like, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay, and I used to like try to really help them go in the direction that I saw was going to be the successful one. They get there. It's kind of like ways. There's 3 different ways to get to the same place. One's the long route, one's the short direct route, and one's the kind of meanderer route. And whatever route they take is going to get them there. They're going to get there because universe is going to get them there no matter what. It's just which route we take. Are we going to take that long, painful one, or are we going to go direct? So, and that's a choice that each person has to make for themselves. And that was, a lesson I learned over time, is you got to let the person make that choice. So what's your leadership coaching philosophy? I know we all have it.
Well, that's interesting, because I think for a long time, I didn't really consider myself a coach. It took me a long time to put on that hat. Because of that superpower piece, that sometimes it's like, if you want me to be like so fluffy and caring about when I see you making a huge catastrophe of a mistake, like, let's take the jet airplane and get to California. We don't need to take a busted old car and take 17 months to get to California.
Right.
From New York, right? Like, so for a long time, I would call myself more of a consultant, but my philosophy is, I'm not going to ever let you get off of this coaching train in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
So if there's something that is blatantly clear, my intuition guides the way of knowing where you need to learn this lesson for yourself and where I can save you a ton of time and just give you the answer.
Yeah. I mean, we've been over the hurdle. Typically a good coach is serving their former selves. So we've been down that road. We've jumped that hurdle. We've run around that hurdle. We've, tried to climb under the hurdle. We've tried every possible methodology and learned the hard way, the easy way, the short way, the long way, right? And then that's what makes us able to confidently say, are you sure you want to go that way? Because that's not going to end well for you. And, and give that really positive advice and have those tools that shorten your trip. If I can shorten somebody else's trip and give them aha moments, and they don't have to go through the same learning curve that you and I went through, isn't that always better, right?
Absolutely.
I live for the aha moments like you, right?
Yeah, it's like that lights me up, and I've been that way since I was a kid. Like when I learn something, I immediately share it with others. So I'm just a natural teacher.
Yeah, and
I just love like that moment where you see people's eyes light up. That's just the juicy stuff of life.
Yeah, it really is.
It is so amazing. Like I just get fired up seeing that experience for people that like when I'm on stage and speaking, like you see the light bulbs going off.
Yeah.
Like makes my heart like pumping on all cylinders, and I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually know that because they're rigorously writing down stuff. And I was like, oh, all right. We definitely impacted a number of people. So it's really good. And sometimes people are in our audiences that have heard what we've said and then heard it a different way because they're in a different place in their life. So it's like rereading a book. Sometimes you reread it and go, I never noticed that before. I never picked up on that before. And those are the exciting moments that we get around. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you, Tracey. We're going to come right back. We're going to take a short break. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. We are here today with Tracey Watts Cirino. You can definitely find her online, TraceyWattsCirino.com. And we're going to take a short little break, come on back and have more conversations with Tracey, get more insight and brilliance from this woman who just, lives the life and dreams the big dreams. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, product, or non-for-profit, or if you have a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. Please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. And whether your goal is improving your health, increasing your prosperity in business, developing a business and marketing strategy, or nurturing your spiritual growth, you are in the right place. We want to help you shift your mindset, harness your talents, remove resistance, and rise above your limitations. Our goal is always to empower you to create the world that you really desire as we guide you through. So we're talking here today with Tracey Watts Cirino. And I love the conversation that we're having, Tracey, and welcome back. I love the conversation that we're having. And I'm sure we were talking about before the break about how people's eyes light up and they have aha moments and things like that. What's your favorite story of one of your clients? One of your favorite success stories?
One of my favorite success stories is from a client that was struggling in her business. And just by working with her, we were able to, I think it was close to double her profits in the matter of 3 months, very short amount of time. And she's pretty successful as it was. But then she had a rough patch again when it came to leadership and growth. And because of having the support in place, she worked through everything so magically. It was like, it actually turned out that the people that were no longer a fit for her and where she was taking her company were actually like ridding themselves from her world.
Yeah.
Where if we hadn't been working together and really focused in on plugging into why you do what you do, staying clear about why it's important, and just having unwavering faith in the fact that you're on the right path, she recognized how this would have tanked her, and it would have set her back 3 years of growth again. We ended up attracting new staff and employees where they were hired and trained in less than 3.5 weeks.
Sure.
It was it was masterful. And I could not have wrote it out to ever work like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was better than you could ever have written out on paper. And the shift was felt by all, the people in the business, the fact that, hey, it's not always going to be the smooth sailing. The skills that you're developing and the belief in yourself is actually going to help you through the next hiccup.
Right, without a doubt. When I'm having conversations with people and you have those kind of major shifts, it's about mindset. It changes everything. And once you open yourself up to abundance and you're clear, crystal clear. And this is one of the things where you said, very importantly, staying clear, having faith you're on the right path. You are opening up the momentum to allow you to manifest exactly what you want and bring into your life exactly who you want. And you will see quietly, you don't have to act at all. The people who no longer serve you will drift away, will no longer be there. They won't feel a connection. They'll feel a disharmony because they no longer fit in the vibration of where you are. So that mindset is so important. And that clarity that you provided her is just the brilliance piece of working with a coach.
Well, and it was so interesting too, because in a way, some moments were like holding her feet to the fire, right? And that's the thing I think I've had to work through as a human and then as a coach, is that loving and caring about people enough that I care more about her outcome than if she likes me, right?
Yeah.
So that is always that thing. And then in turn, as you were talking, I was getting the goosebumps and reliving this whole experience, because then I get text messages and emails like, I absolutely love you. That's when you know you're an awesome coach, when you have people that pay you a ton of money and tell you how much they love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you transform their life in a way they never saw possible before.
Yeah.
And that's that thing that gets me so excited, and why I want to shout it from the rooftops in every mountain and help everyone have that level of clarity so that they can truly design the life of their dreams.
Yeah. There's nothing like it to help somebody else, you know, get those aha moments, and to be able to sit there and be your raving fans as a result of the work that you're doing together. And sometimes it's hard because you have to, as a coach, we have to deliver some hard news. It's not happy. And it's like, okay, it's difficult, but you're not doing it alone. If you jump, I jump. You know, if we splat or we land uncomfortably, we're going to revisit it and find a better way to do it. But you're never, ever, ever alone. We're always taking the trip with you, and you make all the decisions. We're just laying out all the options. And we're really, really good at laying out the options that are available. Have you seen this? Have you looked at this? Consider this. Here's another tool. Why don't we do this? And, you know, reconstructing like you did a company that wasn't doing well to make it increase and then have a spiral and then increase again. That's called growth. That's called growth. Before large transformation, you're going to see, you know, it's almost like cleaning out a closet. Have you ever cleaned out a closet and you're like, I can't even get to the back of the closet. This is ridiculous. Then you turn around and you look at the rest of the room. The closet's empty, but now your room is blown up. And so you have stuff everywhere. It's not pretty. It's very messy. But as you go through it, you get rid of what no longer serves you, and you put the things you really want back in the closet. And now that you have an moment, because now you only are working with what and who you want to work with, and you turn around and you get rid of or no longer need, and hopefully somebody else can use the stuff that you're discarding. You get rid of that stuff because it no longer serves you. Well, that's building a business. You know, that's the same action you're going to do when you build a business, is like redoing a closet. You know, you're taking a different look at it, looking at it with a different set of lenses, hopefully taking the ego out of it, because we as coaches don't have attachment to the end result. We have attachment to helping you succeed, that's for sure. But we don't have an attachment to the personnel involved. We don't have an attachment to the end result. We just have an attachment to help you see the greatness in yourself so that you can see all the clarity in front of you. Yes, it's so that the closet is such a good metaphor, because it really is like, sometimes you make a big old mess. Yeah. It's a bigger mess than when you started. Yeah. And you look at yourself and you're like, what did I do? Why did I even start this? Right. But it's when you're in it. Follow through. Yeah. You got to follow through. And when you're in the thick of it, when you're in that thick of it, it is like, it's very tedious, and you're like, follow through. And that's where we're cheerleading the most. It's like, you got this. We're moving on. We have to move through the muck in order to get to the, pretty side of the island. So let's move through the muck. And then we get to the pretty side and sit in the sunshine and drink the success drinks and, have our special water or whatever it is that makes you happy, and look at where we were, and now look at where we are. Yeah, like that sort of through the little bit of a valley of despair that can happen, that mindset trap is, I think, where most coaches can add the most value, especially to business owners. It's like you just need that fresh perspective so that you can keep popping up out of it. Because like my kids say, why do we take everything to the closet and make a bigger mess? But it's like you just have to stay in the mindset, that focus on that paradise that you're going to, and we're going to get you through. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it gets messy, and you pull up your sleeves and you get into it and you figure it out, and we figure it out together. So what's the story behind how you got started with your business? You know me, I just dive into everything. Like, nothing's a secret. You need to tell me.
Okay, and with me, nothing is a secret. I'll tell you everything. I'm probably an oversharer, so this is why we get along.
And I love that about you, Tracey.
I'm like so like my face, my tone of voice tells everything. I always tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, because it's just gotta overshare.
It's just easier.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like one of those things. The story behind the business is that I came from a background of sort of being a workaholic, and then all of a sudden having kids, I think I didn't really wrap my mind around that whole piece of it, how things would shift and change. And it was crazy. And there were years I was like, I have everything you could possibly want. I have a great husband. I have a thriving business from the outside. I had a great team. I literally could leave town and I would get calls from clients about how amazing the team is. Of course we have, structural inside stuff that happens, but it was like, I was so isolated and alone. I couldn't share this with anyone.
Yeah.
Because how could why would I complain? Like, it's like, was this a dream? But I found myself looking in the mirror all the time saying, is this it? Is this really it? How could this be? And I would hide between my garage and the laundry room, and I would cry my eyes out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want my husband to know. I didn't want my young babies to see. I just would come home from a long day. It was like, the whole thing was just too much.
Yeah.
So when I decided that the only common denominator in all of this stress tunnel was me, I started peeling back the layers and realizing that if I didn't carve out what I really wanted my life to look like, I was going to keep getting run over. Like, it was that whole thing with the hamster wheel.
It's a hamster wheel. Yep.
It never stops. Right. So I got really clear about what I wanted my life to look like. And I kind of started shutting things off that painted any other picture.
Yeah.
And I developed a lot of, I really go so heavily into personal development and drinking, the Kool-Aid and doing the work myself, that I found out how to put a simple recipe together. Because for me, things like the success principles and some of the amazing gurus like Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield, I struggled when I had all the plates spinning and being on that hamster wheel. It was a lot. It was so heavy.
Yeah.
I started making it like a shame blanket for myself instead of putting it into action, because I thought you could skip spaces. When I started peeling back the layers and I found these really clear shortcuts, I would say shortcut resources, and then I started applying them. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, you can get clear about, this is the boundary I have and this is the success that will happen from it.
Yes.
And when that started happening and I started having success, I teach everybody everything I learned. So I just started sharing it with people.
Yeah.
Well, then it was like, when I would talk about it, do you have a book? So I wrote Beyond Common, the 12 Essentials for Success in Life in the Workplace. And then it just came to be that I had to start a whole business around doing that. So I eventually sold my in-person successful salon. It was like the same year we were on the cover of the Salon Today magazine as the year we sold it.
Yeah.
So it was so funny in the time, because I just felt a pull, a calling that I could do more. So that's how Beyond Common Coaching and Training was birthed. It was birthed out of necessity, going through it, and then having others go, wait, what are you doing? And
yeah. So something that you said just struck so deep, and I want to point out to it. You did the work yourself. You understood. You walked the walk. You talked the talk. You went through it yourself so that you had that growing opportunity and you saw how it works. I mean, similar to me, it took me a while to figure out the common thread between the variety of clients that I serve. And it, obviously we all serve our former selves. That's an obvious statement. That's an obvious avatar, right? But what I was trying to figure out is how do I categorize it? So for me, it's a Super Ball because that's what I am. I'm a Super Ball. And so if you remember Super Balls, they bounce all over the place, right? And it's not like we're not focused. It's just that we have so many interests and things, sparkly things matter to us, that we are constantly moving from thing to thing. And we're not necessarily, although we can do detailed work, we're not necessarily in our happy place doing the detail work. We're the visionaries. We like to do the vision. We like to put things in motion, and then we like to leave it and go on to the next thing because we get bored. So once I was able to articulate that, it makes it easy for me to find other Super Balls. But every client I have is a Super Ball. So similar to you, by doing it, become clear on who I am, become clear on the work that I'm doing for myself. It allowed me to jump those hurdles, find those shortcuts, work through what I needed to learn myself in order for me to serve other people and learn how to harness that energy without harshing the creativity in ourselves. Because the people that I serve, basically, if you let them know that they can't play in their creative space, they throw the pen in the air and they go, I don't want to play anymore. They take their ball and they go home. So, doing the work yourself is the number one thing, in order for you to get to success. That and consistency will drive you to success. And that's what you did. You did the work yourself. You reached out and you went beyond where you were. And that's a sign of courage, by the way. So I say courage, because not everybody will take those steps. Not everybody will leap those hurdles, and not everybody will take the risks. And to me, that is the definition of courage, stepping outside of ourselves in order to help other people.
Yeah.
So I have great admiration for you to put this business together and the positive impact you have on other people's lives. Unbelievable.
It's that thing of like, though I didn't want to listen at first. I mean, I'm always honest about that. I wasn't trying to make more, more of a mess at the beginning.
Yeah.
The pool and the call was like, you have to do it. Like, I'm human. I kind of was seeking that comfort for a minute.
Well, right? we were picking at the string, but we weren't pulling it, right? We were picking at it because we didn't want to pull it because we knew what would happen when we made the mess.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say courage, because I was like, sometimes I thought crazy, but we got through.
Well, they both start with C. There's a reason for that.
I know, right? Right.
Yeah, courage and crazy is the same thing. But you know what? Crazy like a fox, because what you did by taking that courageous step for yourself and having that learning curve and getting the aha moments and then wanting to share it. And that's something I think runs through with many coaches, is the desire to share with other people. It's like, I learned this. I want to share it with you if you want to hear, and then when you start letting people hear your story, they want that too. And we do it through example. So it's, again, when you're looking for a coach, when you're out there and wanting that assistant, find someone who you connect with their story. And there's a reason why you connect to their story. And you want to know that they went through it. Somebody telling us how to play football that never played football might not be the best coach.
Right.
So somebody telling you how to be successful in business, who's not successful in business themselves or don't have a coach themselves, might not be your best choice. So, I always send out those tidbits to you all, just to make sure you reconsider that too. Put that in your, hey, let me check off that box when you're talking to great people. But when you're speaking to a Tracey Watts Cirino, you're getting the real thing. I mean, you're the real McCoy girl. You walk the walk, you talk the talk, you do what you say and you say what you do. And I have great admiration for you for doing that. Who do you hope this helps, all the work that you're doing? I know you said women and you want, 10, I think you said 10,000 women?
Oh, 10 million.
10 million women. There you go. Female owners.
Because we want to make that huge impact, because the women will positively impact men too, right? It's like the whole thing. The happy wife, happy life, it extends to all areas. Happy sister, happy, happy everything.
Yeah. Well, and you, like me, we work with both sides. So it's not just women. It's just there's a lot of commonality with working with women because we understand, that side. But I also work a lot with men. I grew up with a house full of, 2 older brothers, the father, the whole 9 yards. I have 2 boys of my own. So, I've been surrounded by young men, older men, that also is impactful as well. So we both serve both genders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very impactful. What are you currently working on? Like, what's next for you?
So currently, we have been working on, I'm calling it the program, like the Best Yet program. So it's called Beyond Common Business, and it kicks off on January 17th, I think. That's our first day. I'm like, can you believe it? Because we've been planning this for so long.
Yeah.
And it really is walking people through like how to get really clear on why you do what you do so that you can set up all of your success systems, whether you're starting out in business and you want to like start off on the right foot, you have an existing business and you feel like you're not as profitable as you'd like to be. The pillars of the program are all about profit, time, and freedom so that you're setting up systems and getting that clarity that you can literally lead your dream life, right? While still having a profitable business.
Yeah.
So we're kicking off the founders program of that. And I want to grow this to eventually be like the online academy that just keeps growing and growing for people that want to have an amazingly profitable business, doing it with ethics and heart and really serving people for the greatest good of all.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Again, thank you so much, Tracey, for being on with us today. I can't believe the time went gushing by, but TraceyWattsCirino.com if you want to reach out to her, see what else she's doing. She is an amazing, amazing coach. You will not go wrong. Tracey, I'd love to have you back, talk more. We have so much to talk about and collaborate on. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope I've earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Tracey Watts Cirino, superstar business coach, whole 9 yards. And if you're looking for a business coach, accountability strategy, direction, sounding board, or someone to help streamline your business and more, feel free to reach out to us at 516-983-3591 and we'll help you soar to success. Shameless plug for both Tracey and I. #1 international bestseller, Women Who Dream, can be found on Amazon. And you can always go to my website to get a signed copy of mine. Thank you again for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. Look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on JVC Broadcasting, and you can follow us on iHeartRadio. Until next time, I am Lorianne Casdia. Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big.